Minecraft เวอร์ชันอะไรนะ25แต่เป็น Snapshot ของ Minecraft เวอร์ชัน25แต่เป็นอยู่34A ตรง installation เล่นอันนี้แล้วก็เซิร์ชวิกิไว้หรอลืมว่ามี 35A แต่เรามาดู YouTube
Snapshots 25W34A and B brought us data pack version 84.0 and a resource pack version 66.0 with changes to profile components for player heads and more. My name is Sliced Lime and this is a guide to all the changes. Let's start with the changes to player heads. The contents of profile components no longer change when a player's skin is resolved. That is, the item would change whenever a download of the skin completed, which could cause issues. This is now changed, so while skins can still resolve, the component no longer changes. And so a player head with a player name as its profile will now keep resolving to that player's latest skin whenever it is loaded. This type of dynamic profile is made by having either a name field with a player name or an ID field with a UUID, but not both. A name can also be specified on the top level. The resulting lookup will only be done in the game client once the item or block loads. You can still resolve a component ahead of time, which means fully filling out the profile details. This gives you a static profile which will never change and keep the same texture forever. Since this is no longer done by setting a dynamic skin, there is now a new command for getting the profile data called fetch profile. This command runs an asynchronous query for the skin data, and when that is done, it gives you 2 chat links for either copying the profile data into the clipboard or getting a player head pre-filled. One thing to note is that item stacking is based on exact matches, so a dynamic profile component and a static one will not stack, even if they end up resolving to the same skin. And finally, the profile field on skull block entity data now works exactly the same way. In other block data news, the align item to bottom block state introduced in the previous snapshot has been replaced with a block entity data field with the same name. Some command news. The rotate command had started doubling the target entity's motion every time it was run in a recent snapshot, which is fixed in this one. Execute on origin and execute on owner now work properly regardless of which dimension the owner or origin is in. And the error message for forgetting a state value for a block state in a command is now the right way around. In text news, bold and italic styling is now ignored when drawing sprites in text. Some quick data format notes. A bug with how the game parsed MC meta files starting at supported version 15 has been fixed, and the speed value of explosion block particles is now speed rather than speak. And that's it for these versions. The resource pack format has no other changes than the removal of the align items to bottom block state. Thank you for watching. My name is Sliced Lime, and I'll see you next time.
Today we're going to be creating a black hole system. So basically we're going to turn the star into a black hole, and then we're going to put planets around it, and I'm going to try to make life in a system with no real star. Hello everybody, my name's Calvin. Welcome back to Universe Sandbox. So to start, let's just open up a a new simulation and let's set the background to a good color. Ooh, let's do green. Okay, so I'm gonna actually start by just adding a star. Okay, this one's pretty good. And then what we can do is take this radius slider and just start to turn it down. And this will lock the mass, so the mass is not changing, but the size of it is. So there's just as much matter in it, but it's getting crushed, basically. We're crushing the star down, and eventually, if we crush it hard enough, it will turn into a black hole. Okay, when we crush the black hole down to only 2.8 kilometers, that's when it turns into a black hole. Okay, we need a good name for the black hole. I think black hole sun is appropriate. Okay, so let's add our first planet. And no matter how close we put the planet, it's not gonna get heated. So you can see we could put a planet, let's do it. Oh, well, I guess if we put it that close, it kind of shreds it just because it's going so fast. Let's retry that. I want to get it pretty close without it getting completely destroyed. Okay, this looks like it's not getting destroyed. So this will be our first planet technically, even though it's really small, but our black hole is tiny, even though it has the same mass as the sun. So it's even bigger than the sun actually. So if we put the sun here, it would eat the whole sun. This is basically real time. So this object is moving very fast. Let's actually check out the motion. It's going 1.5% the speed of light. That is crazy fast. Almost 5,000 kilometers every second. Let's make it a yellow color. Something like that. I like that. Okay, Speedy is gonna be our first planet in the system. Perfect. Oh, okay, something just happened. Tidal forces just seem to kick in on it. Let's make it smaller. And try to make it not... Okay, this actually looks like it's like gonna turn into rings. Like a ring almost. Okay, we're just gonna leave it, because that actually looks pretty sick going around the black hole sun. Okay, now I do want to try to make a habitable planet. And I think that the only way to get the heating is going to be from tidal heating. Basically, we're going to have to make a gas giant and then have the moon of the gas giant be habitable. So let's add a gas giant, and the distance doesn't even matter. I'm going to put it about the same distance that Earth is from the sun. And in a realistic lighting, there is no light anywhere. Okay, so we got tidal heater here, the gas giant that's going to heat our planet. Let's make it a little bit bigger. There we go. That should be good. And then let's add a random moon, and let's just start by putting it here, and let's see how the temperature does on this. Okay, it is slowly heating up. I think we can work with this. 21 Celsius average temperature or 71 Fahrenheit is pretty good. It is heating up a little bit, so we'll see what happens. I'm just gonna turn the flashlight on so we can see. It's very small. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger, and let's add some water to it. There we go. And an atmosphere too. We're gonna have to add a tiny bit of hydrogen on it. And then let's add an atmosphere. Okay, this is already looking pretty good. Okay, we're gonna name it Life in the Darkness. And let's check its habitability. 28.4, so I wonder how we could make it even higher. Maybe the rotational period. Yeah, 49.5 now, even though there is no star. Well, let's actually add city lights. So it's almost like the life on here, because it has no light coming in, it's gonna create its own light. So let's add lights, and it could be sort of like the bioluminescence. So add like a lightish blue light to it. Try to get a good scene. So just imagine like the plants give off their own light because there is no light around. So like if we actually turn off this background and make it black, you can see how dark it really is out here. Like this is what it would look like. It's so dark. We just keep the background so we can actually see what's happening. Okay, so there's life in the darkness. Let's make a better interface color on it. We'll give it that light blue color. Okay, let's give tidal heater another moon. We'll put it out here more. This one won't be close enough to be tidally heated, but we could still do like a water world, and it will probably freeze, so it would be like an ice world. Let's do it. So it's covered in water, and we're just gonna help it by freezing it. So this is what it's really gonna look like. And let's still add an atmosphere. And so there may be a very small chance of life, just because the heating's not gonna be very good, but maybe like just some bacteria or something. It's around -100 Celsius, and let's check its habitability. 3.73. So no complex life is going to develop on here, but very simple, maybe bacteria could develop. Okay, now let's make tidal heater a better planet. I want to add some bands, even though they're not going to see this. Let's do like a grayscale. So let's keep it all like grays and whites. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward through this, and I'll see you guys when it's over. we go. So this is looking pretty cool now. I do like the grayscale look of it. And you can see it's 2 moons going around it now. Let's try to add some rings. I don't want the rings to be so big that they reach out to the orbit of our planet here. So let's do this, and let's adjust the rings and just make like a thin ring. All right, there we go. That's a pretty good looking ring going around now. And hopefully, let's actually see. I wonder if the orbit of our moon is gonna mess with it, because it looks like it's gonna get pretty close. It won't let me run the simulation any faster because we got a bunch of stuff going on already, especially with our planet at the middle here. Look, it's like accretion disk now. That's basically what it is. That's basically what we created in the middle. Yeah, it passed by and it looks like the rings are gonna stay okay. So we'll come back at the end and we'll check on that. I also think that we could do something with a really small star. So like, let's get Proxima Centauri and let's put it in orbit, but like pretty far away. So it's not gonna disrupt any of our planets. And then we could make another planet with life around Proxima Centauri. So this will give us like an actual star to work with. And then we still have the black hole. It's still technically part of the black hole system. So let's add another planet with life. Put it about there, should be good. And let's make it about the same size as Earth, I'm thinking. Okay, about right there. About 85% of Earth's mass. Oh, okay, that's very ugly. We're gonna want to switch that. Okay, that's looking better. Let's add some water and then we can see how this is actually gonna look. I actually don't love that. Okay, let's work with this one. I do like the continents on this, and we do have a lot of small islands that the inhabitants could explore. And then we're gonna add an atmosphere to it. So let's do that. Okay, there we go. Let's get the atmosphere is looking good. Let's add some good colors to it now. Some greener colors. Something like theirs looking nice. And this one actually is gonna have light. So even if we put it on a realistic light, you can see it still gets light from its star. So even the people that live on our... Uh-oh, this doesn't look good. What happened to our system here? Okay, we still got tidal heater. It looks like our accretion disk got completely thrown out. The fragments shot out everywhere. Okay, that should be fine. But it kind of gives it a cool effect. And those are like glitching out. But anyway, so the people that live on here in our Life in the Darkness planet should be able to see Proxima Centauri right there pretty easily, like maybe even during the day. I mean, there is no day, it's all night. But let's land on it and let's see. Yeah, there it is. So it's gonna be brighter than most of the other stars. Okay, we're gonna name our planet over here Life in the Light, because this one is not in the dark. Let's check our habitability, 47.8. Okay, I'm gonna try to get it a little bit higher by just tweaking some settings. Okay, we got it up to 71.7, which is not bad at all. Let's give Life in the Light a moon or 2. Let's go random small moon, and we'll put a moon here, and then let's give it a bigger moon that's a little more further out, like that. Perfect. Okay, and if we landed on this moon, I wonder if you can see anything from the black hole system. Probably not. I think that if life developed on here, they would have no idea that this black hole system even existed, because everything is so dark over here and there's not even a star to indicate to them. But the people that lived on the Life in the Darkness planet would know that that star existed and could probably see eclipses, so they could see the planet. That's pretty interesting to think about. It looks like the rings on our tidal heater also got messed up. So I might just clear fragments just so we can get rid of a lot of the extra things that are clogging up our system. But let's give Life in the Light some rings. Let's try it. Give it some colorful rings. Let's give it like some orange and yellow rings. So let's start with an orange ring like this. Okay, yellow, and then maybe one that contrasts both of those, like even like a blue ring. Look at that, it's like confetti on the planet. I like that. Okay, Life in the Light is like a party over here, and then everyone in the darkness is not very happy. Let's add a comet. I'm just gonna put in Halley's Comet. I just want a comet in this system. Okay, not Halley's Comet. I wish in Universe Sandbox you could see the trail, but you can't really. So I give it its own trail of city lights that you can see on it. Okay, Halley's Comet, now red in interface color. You can see we'll get fairly close to our black hole sun and around the orbit where these people in the Proxima Centauri little system would be able to see it. Okay, now I wonder if we could get a barycenter. I want to try to orbit a planet outside of the Proxima Centauri and black hole system. So here's the barycenter. This point is the point that these two objects are going around because they're kind of in a binary relationship. So if we orbit a planet around the barycenter, technically this should work. This planet should be able to orbit here just fine, all by itself. And we're gonna give it one final habitable planet made from tidal heating. And it looks like the temperature is gonna be pretty good. 21.7 Celsius. And if we unpause time, it's actually heating up. It's like becoming less contrasted. So that's perfect, actually. So it would be kind of interesting because if all of these develop complex life, it would be interesting to see if they contacted each other or what happened. There's our system today. As usual, it will be available in the description below if you'd like to try it out. Join my Discord server, the link's in the description, and thank you guys so much for 60,000 subscribers. It means a ton. Thank you to my patron Borg, and leave your suggestions for new systems down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.
ใช่ถึง6เหมือนกัน
Hello everybody, welcome back to Universe Sandbox. Today we're going to combine every single planet along with a bunch of other things that you guys suggested. If you'd like to leave a suggestion, make sure you're subscribed and use hashtag Earthling on your comment so I know that it's a suggestion. This is Earthling, by the way, he reads them all too. Alright, so like I said, our first suggestion is to combine every single planet at once. So let's get every planet here. Mercury, I don't know, I'll just put them still. Oh, don't go yet, Mercury. Just chill, we gotta put all of them down first. Okay, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and of course we gotta put Pluto because everyone loves Pluto. Okay, so here's all of the planets. They're all just chilling here, but as soon as I hit play, they're gonna collide. So I don't know. Let's focus on Earth because this is where we live. So I'm right here in the United States. So let's see what happens to me. Okay, here it goes. Here goes Jupiter. Oh, oh, Jupiter immediately wins and just eats everything. And it didn't even like double the size of Jupiter. Jupiter is 35% larger, but otherwise it's not even that much different, and it ate everything. All right, we got another suggestion to make a giant bowling ball the size of the moon and make it orbit the Earth. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so here's the Earth and the moon. So if we want to make a bowling ball the same size as the moon, let's go over to the moon and we'll add a bowling ball next to it. So Universe Sandbox does have bowling balls actually right here. We'll put it right here to start. Okay, so yes, the bowling ball is going to be very, very small. So we should just be able to take its radius and just turn it up until we get something that is actually pretty visible. Yeah, there we go. We're getting somewhere. So if we want it the same size as the moon, oh, it's going to be too close. Let's grab it and move it away. Okay, so the same size as the moon. Oh, that's a little bigger. Okay, so now it is exactly the same size in radius as the moon, but the mass is only 40% of the moon. So the moon's a lot denser than this, but let's save it as the moon bowling ball. So now we should be able to save it, and then we can put it in an orbit closer to Earth. Here's Earth, moon bowling ball right here. Put it in orbit around the Earth. We'll put it pretty close right there, and go. Check that out, it works. Okay, it even looks like the moon because of the way that the colors are on the bowling ball. So let's land on the Earth and see what it looks like. So if we landed on here and then looked up, there it is. Yeah, that looks like the moon going across the sky. So now let's make it crash into the Earth and see what happens. Okay, launch into America. Here we go. Okay, here it comes. We're gonna slow down time. Oh, it already hit. Wow. If a bowling ball the size of the moon ever hits Earth, we are in trouble. The entire Earth is covered from the fragments. Let's speed up time and see how the Earth ends up after this moon bowling ball collision. Oh, I can still kind of see the continents. At least I can see Australia and Africa, kind of, and Eurasia over here, Europe and Asia. America's gone. But that's what would happen. Our next suggestion says you should combine all dwarf planets and moons together and let them orbit the sun. So like combine all of the minor objects to create one major object. Basically, we're gonna create a new rocky planet in the solar system today. So if we're combining all the dwarf planets, we're starting with Pluto. Okay, Pluto right here. Okay, there's Pluto. So now let's combine all of the other dwarf planets. So we're gonna put Ceres, Collision, and combine all these other ones. Just basically everything in this menu. So Vesta, Sedna, Haumea, Eris, And then we're gonna go and put all the major moons into this mega Pluto now. So it's super hot. It's ejecting its mass right now, but that's okay. So we're gonna put the moon into that. Phobos, Deimos, Io, Europa, Ganymede, Callisto,
สวัสดีค่ะ ฮัลโหล
Enceladus,
ค่ะได้ยินไหมคะ
Rhea, Titan, Iapetus.
สอบถามเรื่องใบปะหน้าค่ะ อยากจะทราบว่าเราสามารถที่จะตัดส่วนชื่อ
Okay,
สินค้า
basically
ออก
just
ได้
all
ไหม
of these.
คะ
And waiting for the rest to go in. Okay, so this is all of the major moons of the solar system and dwarf planets combined into one object, which we have named Mega Pluto. Let's speed up time and wait for it to cool down and see what it's going to look like.
ใช่
Okay,
ค่ะ
so it sort of
หลัง
looks
ปิ้น
like
ด้วย
the
ค่ะ
moon. It's still shooting out fragments. Its density is rising rapidly.
ค่ะ
Whoa,
ตัดชื่อสิน
this
ค้า
thing is
ออก
super
ค่ะ
low density. But here it is, Mega Pluto. Let's save it. Okay, now let's compare it in size to Earth, our Mega Pluto.
ค่ะ
Okay, here's Mega Pluto in comparison to Earth, but let's make it its own planet. Right here, Mega Pluto. So now Pluto is a planet, and it orbits the sun. So it's all of the moons and dwarf planets combined. Yeah, perfect. The Mega Pluto planet. Dako says, hey Chip, make the Earth so close to the sun and see what happens. Okay, so let's just move the Earth closer to the sun. Let's put it a little bit closer than Mercury. The Earth is now closer to the sun than Mercury is. And let's set its motion to auto orbit and let's check it out. Oh, okay, it's been like 2 years. I think it's already, yes. So all the vegetation, oh, there's a little bit up here, is burning up. Let's turn on surface lock and just watch what happens. Okay, so we're watching it as it goes around the sun. Let's see what happens over a long time. The ice caps are melting, both Antarctica and the North Pole. All of the vegetation is now dead. It's like desert everywhere. Speed up time even more. Yes, the oceans start to dry up. Get a little bit left up there and down here because those aren't going to be as hot. It looks like the water is kind of staying in there. And this is about after 200 years. And let's check its temperature. The average temperature on the planet is 292 degrees Celsius or 557 degrees Fahrenheit, which is insanely hot. So that's what happens if Earth gets put closer to the sun. Jen says, launch a random gas giant at Earth and see how much damage it causes. Okay, we're just gonna do random. It could be like the same size as Earth. It could be like 10 times bigger. It could just eat Earth. Okay, random gas giant launch. We'll set the time slower and launch it at Earth. Oh, okay, it's a lot bigger than Earth. Let's see what happens. Boom. Okay, yeah, it just ate it. It shot out some fragments, but the gas giant is pretty much okay. And we'll speed up time and see what happens to the gas giant at the end. Yeah, completely fine. It took Earth's spot in the orbit. Pretty cool. Wilbur says, hey Chip, can you combine a negative luminosity star and a positive luminosity star and see what happens? Yes. Okay, so if you don't know, I already made a video about negative luminosity stars and actually got a habitable planet around it. So if you have not seen that, go check it out. But basically, you can take a star, so we're gonna take the sun and go to luminosity and just make it negative right here, negative luminosity. And this will make it cool things down instead of heat things up. And it also gives it this weird effect. So if we put, let's just put Earth right here, really close to it, you would think that it would burn up, but you can see it's actually going to freeze. It's starting to freeze already. It still gives off light, but that light holds cold energy on it instead of heat energy. Yeah, so it's frozen over. That's what a negative luminosity star is. So now we're gonna combine the sun with negative luminosity and the sun with positive luminosity and see what happens. I'm actually interested in this. I've never tried this. Okay, here the sun comes into the negative luminosity star. I bet they both go supernova. That's my prediction. Okay, seems okay. Oh, yep. Okay, we got a supernova. I don't know if it's one supernova or two. Oh, yeah, they're both gone. So yes, my prediction was correct. They both went supernova and both of the stars died. That's what happens. Hey Chip, it would be cool if you made the sun really small and the planet really big to see what happens to the system. Okay, so let's make the sun really small. We're gonna have this pause while we do all the adjustments and then we'll play at the end. So really small is what? 1/10 of the size? We'll make it. Okay, it turned into a planet at that size. So we still want a star. So it's only 10% the size of the original sun, and then we're gonna go to each planet and make them 10 times as big.
ค่ะ ค่ะ
Okay, done. Every single planet is now 10 times as massive as it was before. You can see Earth looks weird, and oh, it's so dark out here because the sun's only 1/10 the size. So let's just watch the entire system at once and click play and see what happens. Okay, Mercury gets launched out, Venus gets launched out. So it looks like the sun's gravity is not strong enough
ผู้ซื้อ
to
ว่า
hold
ตัด
them
ราย
all
ละเอี
in,
ยด
and they
อ๋อ
all spiral out. Every single planet spirals out. Interesting. So that's what happens with a small sun and big planets. The planets are
อ๋อ
not big enough
เผื่อ
to
ผู้
keep
ซื้อไม่
themselves
รู้
together. EK says, hey Chip, can you make the sun
Well,
have rings? Would be really cool to see that. Let's do it. So in the
อ๋
rings
อขน
menu
ส่ง
right here,
ส่ง
we can
ขน
just
ส่งก็
add
ไม่
this
รู้
ring
ผู้
onto
ซื้อ
it
ก็
and see
ไม่
what it
รู้
does.
อย่างนี้ใช่ไหมคะ
That looks
ก็
pretty
เลย
nice. So you can see
ถ้า
that
เป็น
they
ไป
all
ได้
turn
ก็คือ
orange because
ไม่
they
อยาก
are
ให้
so
ตัดราย
hot.
ละเอียดสินค้า
Let's
อะไรอย่างนี้
do
ใช่ไหมคะ
some bigger
ก็คือ
rings.
ตัด
Let's change
ตัด
this
ได้
and
แต่ว่า
make
ตัด
it
หลัง
10
จาก
times the outer
เ
radius. So
ที่
this will
ปริ้น
add
ใช่ไห
some
ม
really
คะ ห
big
รือว่า
rings to
อะไร
the sun. You can see they almost stretch out to Mercury. And we could do, what if we do 10 times that? This might lag the game out. It's already getting pretty laggy. Oh yeah, look, that's stretching beyond Earth, like to the asteroid belt almost. And 10 times that, all the way out to Uranus, and then 10 times that, and we're the entire
โอ
solar
เค
system
อ๋อ
now is
สา
in a
มาร
ring.
ถทำได้ก่อนปริ้น
And a lot
แล้วก็
of-
หลังปริ้น
Oh, it's
ถ้า
so
ก่อนปริ้น
laggy
นี่
right
คือ
now.
ก็ไปลบเองอย่างนี้
I'm
ใช่
not
ปะ
even
คะ
gonna